live from our studio here in Kokomlemle, Accra. This is Joy News Prime. We're live on DSTV channel 41, GoTV channel 125, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. My name is Samuel Kojo.
I'm Noella Karaniali. Tonight, Ashanti Regional Chairman of the Opposition NPP, Bernard Inchibosiako, known popularly as Chairman Wuntumi, has been arrested and detained by the Economic and Organized Crime Office. NPP supporters have massed up there and the military has just been deployed to the scene. We're live on the grounds.
Also coming up tonight, government is set to introduce legislation to enact new rules to regulate removal of Supreme Court and other Superior Court judges. We also bring you updates on the processes for the potential removal of Chief Justice Tokono.
A national security interdict electricity company of Ghana staff interrogates former managing director as chief of staff direct full audit of over 2,600 missing but found containers in a full-blown government investigation into the saga. And at 8 p.m., Pius Kojobaka will be here with Prime Business.
Economist cautions government against returning to the international capital market to borrow, warning such a move could introduce additional risks and challenges to the economy.
I think when we have the kind of challenges we have, your focus should be on fixing the challenges and not try to get access to the international capital. It's fraught with a lot of challenges and dangers.
And at 8:30 p.m. is Prime Sports.
Well, the Sports Ministry is set to launch a full-scale audit into the Ghana Boxing Authority after findings linked its negligence to the death of Nigerian boxer Gabriel Oranowaju.
Remember, we are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism.
Stay tuned in for details.
It's Prime Headline.
Well, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Inchibosiako, also known as Chairman Wuntumi, has been arrested and detained by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO. This came shortly after leaving the Criminal Investigations Department headquarters here in Accra.
Now, Chairman Wuntumi has been at the CID headquarters for further questioning over his alleged involvement in illegal mining and mining in forest reserves and entering the forest reserve without authorization. He was directed to reappear after he turned himself in yesterday as part of his bail conditions.
Now, party executives and supporters have been massing up at the EOCO office in solidarity with Chairman Wuntumi. Let's cross over and speak to Latif Idrisu, who's been at the scene the past couple of hours for the latest. Latif, what's the situation at the EOCO office now?
Well, Kojo and Fosti, the situation is fluid. Over the past few hours, we've had the number of party supporters coming in to solidarize with the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party. The number keeps increasing, though it's minimal. Looking at the stature and the command and the personality involved, the expectation was that the number would have been bigger, if you like, than what is currently on the ground. The situation has changed. The last time we spoke, we've had a backup for EOCO. About some less than 30 minutes ago, we counted about 3 pickup trucks with military operatives coming in to provide the needed backup for the EOCO officials who have been here all day securing their own building. But I'm sure they've picked up intelligence regarding the personality involved, like I mentioned, and the kind of following he commands and the potential escalation of the situation. And so the backup has arrived to de-escalate any possible escalation of the situation. Chairman Wuntumi, as you've rightly mentioned, was picked up by EOCO officials after he had reported at the CID headquarters today as part of his bail condition. After that, he left the CID headquarters, and on his way home, he was accosted by EOCO officials who asked him to follow them to the EOCO building, where he currently is right now behind us. A number of party executives came in, some have left, but I currently have the former Greater Accra Regional Minister, Titus Glover, here with me, and I want to pick his brain on the development with regards to the arrest of the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party. Tell me about your initial remarks before we get into the meat of the matter proper.
Thank you very much. My initial comment to make is that the media in this country, all too soon, you've gone dumb. The NDC, led by the president, his style of governance, that he wants to intimidate we, the members of the New Patriotic Party. You're all quiet. You are not talking. We are not in the dark days. We are not in a revolution. We are in the rule of law. We are guided by the Constitution. So all the media houses, multimedia, TV3, everybody, you've all gone quiet. And these are, please, allow me to flow. Allow me to flow. I'm speaking with a lot of indignation. My heart is bitter. I'm bleeding. But I want to use your medium to assure the government and the NDC, but they cannot kill the spirit of the elephant. The spirit of the elephant is so strong and so united. You touch one, you touch everybody. What is the issue? Yesterday he was at CID headquarters. He was investigated. They granted him bail. He was asked to come back, only to finish with the CID and then they bring him here to continue the same process. Why?
Can you confirm that is the same
What
process?
is it about? To me, is a minor. Is it not because of Galamsey? Is it because of mining that they've arrested him?
You know that for a fact.
You, the media, haven't you been talking about mining? Today, the mining is worse in NDC John Mohammed's time. Today is worse. Very worse. Worse than our time. And you are all quiet. You are not talking. But NDC executives have rushed into the forest.
Mr. Glover, you know that he's been picked up because
what is it about? You, the media,
unauthorized entry into a forest reserve to undertake mining operations.
As we speak, are people not mining in the forest? NDC people, are they not mining in the forest? Are we in strange land? Why do you want to behave like strangers? They should remove the logs from their eyes before they get the specs. Are people not mining as we speak? Are the executives not mining in the forest areas? And the president and his party and the leadership are all quiet? What is wrong?
Mr. Glover, if you have such a...
My name is Titus Glover.
Yeah, if you have such an information, why don't you liaise with the security operatives?
I will not liaise with them. They see them. It's all over the social media. They see what is happening. Go through Wasa area. Go through the Zima area. All over. What is happening there? It's happening. NDC supporters have got to stop soldiers. In Akufado's time, when soldiers are coming, they run. But today they are emboldened because their parties in power and they are destroying the forest. And you pick on innocent soul. When was the last time you wouldn't mind? When was the last time? It's because you want to show him power. Because you want to show him power. We have no problem. We'll cooperate with the law. But what we want to say is that we are not in a lawless country. We are not in a military regime. We're in the rule of law. Okay? So all that we are saying is that any NPP member who is hearing me talking, they should come out.
Are you saying
we need the soldiers and police in Boku? That is what we need them, not here. In Boku, that is what we expected them to go and provide security.
Are you suggesting that Mr. Buesiaku's rights have been violated in any way?
Please.
If he's been invited for interrogation, does that violate his rights in any way?
What is the essence of the police ID? What is the essence of it? So from the police, you come to EOCO. Then from EOCO, you go to a special prosecutor. Then you go to charge. Is that the case? You want to flex? I just don't understand.
I saw you enter the small building, that's the office before the main building. What exactly was the interaction?
I want to find out what is happening because nobody is telling us anything.
What did you find?
He didn't tell me anything good. He said he's inside, he's being interviewed, blah, blah, blah. And at the right time, to communicate to us. So we told him we are waiting. Because what we are saying is that if you are not careful, here we'll start building up. And it builds up the tension. That's what we're trying to avoid here. If they want good to me, they should release him to us. Tomorrow morning, he can come and continue with the interview or the investigation, whatever they want to do.
You think that's going to happen?
I don't know. I don't know because I don't control them. Okay. I don't control them. But I'm saying again, the media of this country today, you are all dumb. You are quiet. You are not talking.
Thank you very much. So that's the former Greater Accra Regional Minister, Titus Glover. registering his own concern regarding the arrest of the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, NPP. So the numbers are building up, but the backup provided by the military, 14 military officers who have showed up here, at least trying to de-escalate any possible escalation of the situation here at the EOCO office. So for now, Fosti and Kojo, the situation is calm now, but we do not know what happens next. We do not know if Chairman Wuntumi will be released or he would be detained overnight and possibly would be processed before the court. So that is what we know here for now, Nuala and Kojo. That's the situation. Chairman Wuntumi is still in the building here. We do not know if he's been interrogated or he's been detained. Even Titus Glover, who attempted to sneak in, is unable to tell us. We do not know. All we know is that Chairman Wuntumi is still in here after his arrest by EOCO officials for further interrogation. And so that is the situation here on the ground. Back to you in studio, Nuala and Kojo.
Thank you very much. And do stay with Joy News. We will bring you any update that we do get from the EOCO office here.
Now, Chairman Wuntumi is a popular personality not only in the NPP but also in its stronghold in Kumasi. We're joined by Emmanuel Bright Kweku to gauge reactions to his arrest and detention. What can you report, Emmanuel?
Well, when you come to the Ashanti region, particularly its capital, Kumasi, unlike the EOCO office where you're having a lot of party supporters gather at the premises, when you come here, tensions are a bit calmer here in the Ashanti region. And as you know, there's a bit of commemoration amongst the public, particularly in the party leadership here in the Ashanti region, and also even the party faithfuls themselves here in the Ashanti region. And as you may recall, on Friday, we had some national security operatives massing up at Chairman Wuntumi's premises or his residence here in the Ashanti region, and this was fiercely resisted by the party folks. But with this recent arrest, for them, they do not understand why the government will make Chairman Wuntumi the new target. And as we know, we do not know why the EOCO has picked up Chairman Wuntumi, but they argue that if it's, of course, for reasons of his invasion into some illegal mining sites or forest reserves in the Ashanti region or even in other regions, they do not understand why that should just happen to Chairman Wuntumi, but they should also go after persons who are found culpable in this particular incident. And so for here in the Ashanti region is a bit calmer, but the commemoration continues amongst the leadership. And for some sects of the public, they know that in case Wuntumi is found culpable or may have done anything illicit when it comes to mining in the forest reserves, for the sect of the public, right, they want to say that he should be dealt with accordingly to the laws of this land.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel Bright Kweku, for that succinct reportage.
Now, to another developing story. The government is preparing to legislate new rules to guide the removal of Supreme Court and other Superior Court judges. The announcement made by the Majority Leader Mahama Yariga on the floor comes as the Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu is currently logged in the process seeking to remove her from office. The process has so far been criticized by the opposition NPP as one that has been, trampled on the justice or the, the human right of the Chief Justice, and they say it's unfair, the way they are treating her. Parliamentary Affairs Correspondent Kweku Asante reports.
The process currently underway to remove Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu continue to receive criticism from Parliament, especially from members on the NPP minority side. Today on the floor, Deputy Minority Leader Patricia PJ descended on President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC, who she accused of having a preconceived agenda to remove the Chief Justice.
Audacious attempt by the presidency to undermine judicial independence have reached dangerous proportions. The nation watched in disbelief as the executive launched brazen efforts to remove the Chief Justice of the Republic.
Before Ota for Vincent Ekwasafoa, who had actually gone to the Supreme Court to stop the entire process, says the latest affidavit deposed to by the Chief Justice herself in a matter she has filed before the Supreme Court clearly backs her proposition up that the effort underway is simply to unjustifiably remove her from office.
I don't see why a Chief Justice will appear before a committee and he will be searched like a petty criminal. Meanwhile, the lawyers who are representing the petitioners are not searched. It cannot be a fair procedure. It cannot be a fair treatment.
Meanwhile, the government says it is now introducing new measures to guard the process to remove the Chief Justice and other persons who serve on the superior courts of judicature. According to Mahama Yaga, the majority leader who announced this on the floor, this is expected to streamline the process that is currently outlined for in the Constitution.
The President is committed to legislative clarity with transparency when it comes to the constitutional mechanics of the removal of justices of the superior courts.
While the Supreme Court is yet to decide on the Chief Justice's injunction application, the process is currently ongoing. The minority say this process must be stopped because it's clearly an attempt to subdue the judiciary and pack the courts with NDC loyalists. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, Parliament House, Accra.
Now tonight, Joy News is learning that the National Security has interdicted a number of staff of the Electricity Company of Ghana and has begun interrogating former Managing Director Samuel Dubik Mahama in a full-blown government investigation into the over 2,600 ECG missing but found containers. Now, the Energy Minister, John Janapo, reported in March this year that at least 1,300 containers of ECG cables and meters vanished from the port, prompting a joint national security operation to retrieve them. But fresh reports from the ministry today indicates, that a total of 2,637 containers have been found, more than twice reported missing numbers. There are some fresh revelations on this, but first, here's a breakdown of the figures as we have it.
So if you look at it, we knew about that some missing containers were not found or some containers were missing, but today we are being told that some 2,583 containers have been retrieved. And those containers that are still being traced are just around 54. So those are the containers that are still being traced, 54 of them. Now, in terms of the ECG missing containers, there were some arrests that were done some few months ago. Now, we know that out of the 14 people that have been arrested so far, 10 of them are Chinese, with 4 being Ghanaians. Okay, so, those are the details that we're getting from the Energy Ministry today. And the spokesperson for the ministry, Richmond Roxon, is revealing to Joy News tonight that the National Security has begun interrogating former ECG MD Dubik Mahama on the matter, and the Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, has also directed a full audit of the containers as government is seeking an advice from the Attorney General for a possible prosecution into the matter.
The Chief of Staff directive was recent, so I'm sure that in the next few weeks that should be done. Because also the Chief of Staff directed that once the audit is done, because of the challenges of ECG, some of the items may be released to ECG to help continue the maintenance work that they've started. The security agencies are still investigating the matter. The former managing director has been invited by National Security. His caution statement has been taken. Some staff of ECG have been asked to step aside. Some staff of agencies related to this matter have been invited and questioned. So the resolve of the government to ensure accountability is not in doubt. The government is committed, and the Minister of Energy has already written to the Attorney General to advise on the way forward when it comes to prosecution.
Which means there will be a full-blown prosecution in this particular matter.
Once the Attorney General advises, definitely that will be the way to go.
Now, Collins Adumaku-Mensah is Deputy Ranking Member on the Energy Committee, and he joins us on the telephone lines. Grateful for joining. Now, you have heard the position of the ministry, but you believe the minister must be hauled to the floor. Why? Hello, Mr. Adumaku-Mensah. So, Mr. Adumaku-Mensah is joining us via the Zoom. If you can unmute, I want to pick your thought because you have expressed that the opinion that the minister must be hauled before Parliament, and I want to find out why you want to do that.
Good evening, and good evening to yourself and your viewers. If you recall, and I was just listening to you, were giving some statistics. The initial conversation was that a total of 2,491 containers, uncleared containers, were at the ports. This was the minister's briefing that he got from ECG. Subsequently, the minister instituted a committee to investigate these uncleared containers. It was at that point that the committee reported back to us that out of the 2,491 uncleared containers that was investigated, close to about 1,134 were missing, and these were their words. They were missing. Now, we are being told today through a graphic report, and you've just confirmed so from the spokesperson from the ministry, that as at yesterday, a total of 2,637 containers have suddenly been found at the same Tema port that initially they claimed had gone missing. Now, these are conflicting figures. Our point was that we should give the minister another opportunity to come back to Parliament to clarify these issues. Now, if you listen to the wording of the report, the graphic says that it was retrieved. Now, we vehemently oppose to the word retrieved. What this report clearly tells us is that indeed the audit that was initially conducted may not have been thorough. Because you cannot do an audit at the same port, claim that 1,137 containers are missing, and then come back after 1 month to tell us that you have found double the figure at the same port. What it means is that indeed the containers were not missing. Probably the audit process was not thorough. We are just giving the minister another opportunity to appear before us as it did initially to clarify the issues.
And when do you want this done?
In fact, today, during the presentation of the business statement, I rose up to indicate to the chairman of the business committee, which is the majority leader, that we should give the minister an opportunity, if it pleases the committee, that the minister is invited this week for him to come back to the House to explain the matters to us, to bring some clarity, in order to bring some clarity to the issues, because the figures, as been reported now, look clearly very, very strange to us.
Okay. All right. Now, what's your reaction to what we're just hearing about the interrogation of former MD of ECG and the Chief of Staff's directive for a full audit of the containers? Is this something you support?
Well, we welcome any initiative that will bring closure to this matter. The former managing director of ECG, if you recall, some few months ago, was very emphatic. And his point was that the containers are not missing, and there are reports to that effect. He believed very strongly that once the containers were at the ports, it should be in the custody of the Ghana Port and Harbors Authority. The reports today by the Graphic Communications Group, as confirmed by the spokesperson from the ministry, vindicates his position that indeed the containers were at the port. If for any other reason the government wants to still invite him for further information, we don't oppose that move. As earlier commented, that we are prepared to assist the government to unravel this mystery. But clearly, from what we are getting now, it tells me that some audit was not done well previously.
All right, I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining us. And that is a former Deputy Minister of Energy during the Estual Akufo-Addo government.
Now let's go back to the EOCO headquarters, because my colleague Latif has latest update on the arrest of the former Kumasi region chairman of the NPP. Latif, what can you report?
So, Noella, what we can report now as part of the fluid situation here at the EOCO office has to do with the fact that there are backups So I'll just move away from the camera. Then you find a flashlight there. This just came in a few minutes ago with additional uniformed military operatives to give some backup to the initial backup that came in. So that is the backup on the part of the security operatives. Now, we've also had backup as far as the supporters who are massing up here is concerned. Just when the military operatives arrived, we saw about 20 to 25 young men walking towards the main gate of the EOCO building, also coming in to give their own support and solidarity to the Ashanti regional chairman of the New Patriotic Party, who, Noella, I must say, is still in the building behind me. We do not know if he is being interrogated or he has been detained. We cannot state emphatically what is currently taking place behind these walls of EOCO as far as the arrest of the Ashanti regional chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Mr. Boesiako, is concerned. Noella.
So much, Latif. Obviously, we're going to come back to you for more details or updates, should there be. But of course, you should also stay with your home of independent, credible journalism right here on Joy News for more details on this particular story. It's developing.
Quite a fluid situation at EOCO there, but away from that, the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly says it is taking concrete steps with the Ghana Police Service to ensure commercial drivers comply with the recent 15% transport fare reduction. This follows widespread reports that some drivers continue to charge the old fares, defying the directive by the Transport Union. KMA's head of transport, Randy Wilson, says enforcement is already underway in collaboration with the police.
The head of the Transport Department at the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, Randy Wilson, says a strict enforcement exercise by the police has begun in Kumasi to ensure commercial drivers reduce the fares by the agreed 15%. Joy News' checks indicate there are no visible police officers on the roads for the exercise, but Mr. Wilson insists the police will be out to instill compliance.
That is what the mayor communicated to us, that the police will be out today, starting today, to ensure that every driver is able to reduce the fare that they charge now by the agreed 15% with the Ministry of Transport.
Some commuters have had to challenge drivers and their mates on their failure to reduce fares. Randy Wilson observed complaints are already coming in from commuters who claim they are being overcharged despite the new directive.
There's a phone number that we give out, and there are a lot of people who are calling to complain about they being charged beyond what has been agreed. And we are compiling all this and make it available to the police MTTD, and we are hoping that within the next 2-3 days, all these drivers will be fished out and then the appropriate punishment meted out to them.
The public has been urged to report defaulting drivers directly to the KMA.
If anybody is charged beyond the 15% reduction, please compile, just take your phone, take the vehicle number, give us the route you are working on, and then add the fare that you are charged, and send it to the numbers, and then appropriate actions will be taken against these recalcitrant drivers.
The KMS says it remains committed to ensuring passengers are not shortchanged and drivers are held accountable. Reporting for Joy News, Emanuela Irabna Akwe, Kumasi.
You're still watching Joy News Prime right here, and we're taking a quick breather. We're back with more. You're welcome back. This is Joy News Prime.
Let's take you to Latinpa, because the Latinpa Basic School in the Northeast Gonja district rising dropout have turned teachers into door-to-door campaigners, moving through the community each day, pleading with parents to send their children to school. Emmanuel Jivenu reports from Latinpa in our education series, Crumpling Starts.
It's 10 a.m. at Latinpa, a farming community in the Northeast Gonja district of the Savannah region. Inside the junior high school, the silence is deafening. The classrooms are nearly empty. Here, teachers do not just teach, they beg. Every morning, they come through the village, knocking on doors, pleading with parents to let their children come to school.
Sometimes you can come, some years are there, they will come 2, 3. The others will remain in town. You have to go and talk to them and they will come. And they can come at any time.
The attendance sheet tells a painful story. JHS 1's register has not recorded a single student weeks after school reopened.
Some decided to run away to other places. Others remain in town. So for now, they are yet to come because we are still talking to the parents to allow them to come. Because some are still in town, that they will not come.
In the previous term, the most consistent Form 2 students showed up just 32 times out of 60 days.
They see no reason, like a better practical reason why they should send their children to school.
The classrooms are in poor condition. There are no role models for children to look up to. And parents say their children can earn more carrying loads in cities than sitting in the classroom.
I'm a professional teacher. I have to teach because I'm paid to teach. But you've come to school and there are no students. What are you teaching? So that alone can demoralize you, and it can let you become lazy. So it's a worry.
Even the teachers have their burdens. The only mud structure built to house them collapsed last year. Now, they walk or ride long distances every day just to reach the school.
The teachers' quarters fell down. They tried to put up a new one, but still, they raised it with mud. So they couldn't work on it. Rain came and destroyed it. So currently, no accommodation. So that one too is also a factor.
There must be a united push to keep Latinpa's children in school. Parents must begin to see education not as a burden, but a lifeline. Government, too, must ensure that classrooms are not just built, but made safe, welcoming, and worth attending. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News, Northeast Gonja District, Savannah Region.
Now, the special anti-GLMC team set up by the Inspector General of Police have arrested 28 illegal miners, 7 of them Chinese nationals, and 21 Ghanaians in the Aowen and Amenfi West municipalities of the Western and Western North regions. Now, despite the ongoing raids in Samiraboy and its environs, the miners were found operating in reserves close to Enchi. Now, the team seized 3 excavators, bringing the total of excavators at the Samiraboy camp to 99. Erastus Asare Donko reports.
It's been about 3 months now since the Inspector General of Police initiated raids, series of them, on Samiraboy, Aowen municipality, the Amenfi area, trying to raid the forest and the rivers here of illegal miners.
In the past 3 days, 28 illegal miners have been arrested at Papueso and Pantonso, both in the Aowen and Amenfi West municipalities. Following screening of the 21 Ghanaian suspects and compiling of statements, 11 of the suspects were released on bail, whilst all 7 Chinese nationals and the remaining suspects have been transferred to Accra for prosecution. 3 excavators found operational at the 2 sites have been conveyed to the team's camp at Samiraboy for safekeeping. This brings to 99 total number of excavators found at the Samiraboy camp of the team at the moment. the team still faces stiff-necked individuals who continue to mine by roads, settlements, and forests despite the crackdown. At Papoiso, the team had to stop the continued pollution of this stream by individuals operating chamfan machines. On our way to check the situation in the Tano Nimri Forest Reserve, the team accosted Prince Kwame Asante, a known frontrunner for illegal mining entities in the Apamprama Forest Reserve. A search in his car revealed a foreign pistol as he sent officers on a wild goose chase on his mission in the Tano Nimri Forest Reserve. The team has so far cleared villages along the Tano of the illegal miners who once occupied and polluted the river.
I commend them for sanitizing this area. We are heaving a sigh of relief. Although there are no jobs, we cannot mine in forests and water bodies. The police have really helped us.
But if they are mining into to destroy the river, it is very bad.
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asare Donko. Amenfi, our Win Municipality, Western Region, Western North.
Now, away from that, rising drug abuse and antisocial behavior among the youth in Inshayaso have triggered swift action from the Member of Parliament for the constituency. Dr. Steven Amoako is partnering with security agencies to clamp down on drug peddling hotspots, but says the fight is far from over. Daniel Jima has more.
The abuse of drugs continue to gain ground in parts of the country. The Interior Minister, Muntaka Mubarak, has shown concern over the worrying situation, tasking the Ashanti Regional Police Command to take swift action against it.
The growing concern over drug abuse in our country. This menace threatens our communities, eroding the values we hold dear and endangering our youth.
Tinker Island, the den widely known for illegal drug trade and abuse, has been a source of concern for residents and law enforcement agencies for some time. Though the area is not within the Inshayaso constituency, it is believed a successful raid will positively affect efforts to fight drug abuse in other areas. According to Dr. Amoako, drug abuse is at the heart of increasing cases of robbery and other forms of crime that have rendered some parts of the constituency unsafe, particularly for women.
Our mothers cannot even leave their houses except in the afternoons. And then most of the young ones who could be access to us are now liabilities because of drugs. So we are trying to institute our own community policies. One of them, unregistered motorbikes, we have already started, but we are going to make sure that we entrench that position. If your motorbike is not registered, we will not tolerate that in this constituency. 2, any young child or any child who is below the age of 18 cannot be sent to go and buy alcohol or tobacco. No one below the age of 18 will be allowed to engage in mybed.com, gambling, in the Inshayaso constituency.
For Joy News, Nana Ochima, Kumasi.
Now, amid protest and uncertainty, Abdullahi Mahmood has secured a resounding 34 out of 39 votes to become the district's chief executive for Bamboy. Now, chiefs and residents see his endorsement as a win for inclusive governance under President John Mahama. Traditional leaders are calling for unity and the implementation of bold development. Anas Abit reports.
In a historic moment for the Bole Bamboy district, Honorable Abdullahi Mahmood, only the second ever DCE for Bamboy, has been confirmed amid celebrations and calls for unity. From fiery opposition to resounding endorsement, the DCE's confirmation marks a pivotal turn. Paramount Chief of the Jama traditional area, now Professor Lanjago Kali II, set the tone for reconciliation.
To our brothers and sisters who raise concerns, we hear and respect your voices. Your passion for the development of Bole district in the Savannah region is not only valid but essential. Now, as the dust settles, let us move forward united in purpose and guided by our shared commitment to the welfare of all. The time has come for reconciliation, healing, and collaboration. The challenges ahead demand our collective strength and wisdom.
Now, Professor Lanjago also used the opportunity to thank the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, for the gesture of nominating a resident of Bamboi, and asked that he is hopeful that the new DCE will help bring the needed development to the area.
On behalf of the chiefs, elders, and people of the North Mo traditional area, and in collaboration with well-meaning citizens and stakeholders of the Bole Bamboi constituency, we extend our profound gratitude to Your Excellency for the nomination and subsequent confirmation of our son, Mr. Abdullahi Muhammad, as the District Chief Executive of the Bole District Assembly. We are confident that he will promote unity and lead with transparency and a development-focused mindset.
Assembly member for Bamboi electoral area, Honorable Fuseni Gariba, wants the new DCE to work towards helping institute a nursing training college in the area to help improve quality health care delivery.
As I speak, we have a polyclinic here. We have one of the best hospitals, Leata Hospital at Carpenter. In the Bui Dam too, we have a hospital at Jamaso. If the facility is used as a nursing training, I think it will produce, won't be lack of nurses the way we used to.
Other members of the community who have higher hopes are optimistic that this new chapter will bring hope to the people, old and young. We, the women in the area, want him to help us in our trade, and for the youth, we want him to help improve their education. That is all we want from the new DCE. We and the entire youth are in support of what Nananom have said. So we thank President Mahama, who hails from this same constituency, becoming an MP at a point, so he knows all our problems and we want him to help address them. From the streets of Bamboi to the corridors of power, one thing is certain: the people have spoken and a new chapter begins. With strong community backing and a call for unity, the future looks promising. Anna Sabit, Joy News, Bamboi.
Well, let's do international news now, where Sudan is on the brink of a public health disaster as cholera and other deadly diseases spread. In just 1 week, Sudan's health ministry recorded that 172 people have died due to a cholera outbreak. In a Facebook post, the ministry stated that most of the new cases were in Khartoum state. According to local doctors, drone attacks have caused power outages at water purification stations, which has also left people with no choice but to use unclean water. That's all for World News. So it's time for me to bounce off, and we'll bring you showbiz with Becky and Noella. Thanks for watching.